Welcome to Abstract Audio, the podcast presenting life as an abstract art form. The show that encourages you to perceive beyond the tangible, to extract the infinite from the finite, to see with the mind what you cannot physically see with the eyes. Oh, it's an emancipation. It's an exploration into areas usually overlooked. Explore with me on today's episode. All right, welcome back, Abstract fam. As you can see, we're back moving and grooving once more in this cosmic dance of curiosity and conversation. And you know the drill, just like you know the tune by now. I'm your host, Amber Janae, and here, nothing's off limits. We're kind of all just figuring it out together, right? Abstractly, of course. No, if you got two left feet, that's fine. That's all right.
Get up here.
Look.
Let's dance.
You're never alone, and I promise not to laugh at you. Not too hard anyway. And speaking of cosmic partners and reflecting on last week's topic on the power of yes and no, I thought it would be kind of fun and intriguing to delve into the force that directly influences these choices, right? Something that often precedes our decisions, subtly guiding what we feel compelled to say yes and no to. It's that initial magnetic pull that can impact our willingness to engage or get the fuck on. So today we're looking into the concept of attraction and distraction, to be precise. And I don't just mean the surface level, oh, they're so cute kind of attraction. Nah. Today we're talking about the kind that makes you question everything you've been told about how and why we're drawn to people, places, things, and ideas. So what are you waiting for? Let's cut a rug, get out on the dance floor, and get some sparks flying, y'all. So let's be honest here, okay? Can we be honest for a minute? The world of attraction is such a mindfuck contradiction at its core. I mean, seemingly woke people throw around phrases like, you are what you attract, and opposites attract in literally the same breath, like they just both make perfect sense. But come on, can we be real for a second here? Because how can it possibly be both? Like, I really want to know. I want an answer. Are we just magnets drawing in what we reflect? Or are we all just looking for someone or something that completes these parts of us that we're missing? Well, let's break this down. The dance battle is optional. But it's more like a tug of war between two philosophies, isn't it? Because on one hand, you've got the whole you attract what you are crowd, you know, preaching that we vibe with those that reflect our truest inner selves. And sure, I mean, yeah, it sounds nice. Like some kind of cosmic mirror showing us what's really going on inside. But if that were true, wouldn't it kind of mean we're all just narcissists in disguise? Unknowingly searching for some glorified version of ourselves to put on a pedestal? Where's the fun in that? Are we really just swiping right on our own personalities in disguise? Then on the flip side, there's that opposites attract theory, which seems to come from a more chaotic corner of the universe. One I'm proud to say I frequent very often. But this one has like a certain kind of flair, right? Like the idea that two people or things with literally nothing in common can just crash together somehow and create a beautiful mess of differences. But doesn't that just seem like an exhausting game of tug of war? Doesn't that just seem kind of exhausting? Say we found your person, and you're a homebody and they're a party animal. How long before one of you is yanking the other into your little comfy corner of life? Is it even sustainable? Is it even fun? And if we're talking fun, maybe an even better example here isn't a romantic relationship at all, right? And maybe say it's your friend group. Ever heard that saying about being the average of the people you hang out with the most? It's kind of like saying, you're the fifth wheel in a circle of, say, super successful people. That you'll magically start closing deals and making bank. And the money will be attracted to you, so to speak. That's what they say, at least. But if you're chilling with a group of people that's more into, say, Netflix marathons and pizza puffs, well, you might find yourself becoming the champion of the couch potato Olympics, right? But seriously, your social circle does have this weird power over you, right? And I mean, we've seen it in action enough to know as much. But wouldn't the fact you're even in those particular friend groups to begin with speak more to what you naturally attract? So, which one is true? Both? Neither? Or is it some sad, tangled cocktail of the two? Well, the age-old idea that we're drawn to people who have what we don't, it's kind of like walking into an art gallery, right? And being mesmerized by a piece because it speaks to something we don't yet fully understand. Maybe all attraction is like that. Personally, I think we're drawn to people whose qualities interest us or that we admire, but don't necessarily embody ourselves, right? But then again, you never really see bums hanging out with bosses, I don't know. But it's kind of like that burnt toast theory that I mentioned a little while back, the idea that a small setback, or in this case, an attraction to something wildly different from what we know or what we're used to, could keep us from a much different version of ourselves. Attraction, in a way, is like the universe and keeping us on our toes, right? You've heard it all the time. If we only ever surrounded ourselves with people who are exactly like us, life would get predictable. And trust me on this, nobody wants predictable. We'd just be staring at the same painting over and over, nodding along like it's the only art that matters, when we know that ain't the truth. But attraction to what we lack is the universe pushing us towards growth, even if it means stretching outside of our comfort zone, right? Now, why we're attracted to someone or something might be the ultimate unsolvable mystery. I mean, sure, science can tell us all about pheromones and spatial symmetry and how our brains light up like a Christmas tree when we see someone or something that we like. But there's always that extra little something we can't quite explain, right? That abstract bit. It's like trying to describe why a certain piece of art moves you. I mean, it's not just the colors. It's not the composition or the brush strokes. It's something deeper, something almost metaphysical, but we can't always put it into words. And maybe that's why art and attraction have always kind of gone hand in hand. From love songs to sculptures to paintings, art tries to capture the essence of attraction, but it's always just out of reach. Because here's the thing, right? The moment you can fully explain why you're attracted to something or someone, doesn't that take away the magic of it all? Maybe the beauty of attraction lies in the mystery, in the fact that we can't always pin it down. After all, life would be so boring if we had all the answers, man. I always say this, but some things are meant to be felt more so than understood. It's funny how we think attraction is just a passing feeling, fleeting, a random spark that catches our attention quickly. But then before you know it, you're kind of spiraling into this vortex more akin to obsession, right? That initial magnetic pull, it grows stronger. And what was once just a casual glance quickly turns into fixation. Suddenly you're deep into it, whether it's a person, an idea, or even a material object. You're not just intrigued anymore. It's not just being pulled towards you, you're being consumed by it. It's like scrolling through your phone, meaning to check just one thing. And then an hour later, you're knee-deep in conspiracy theories about time travel or obsessively Googling how to turn your hobby into a billion-dollar business. The thing about attraction is that it lures you in or lures something to you. And once you're hooked, you start justifying the time and energy invested into it. We tell ourselves that we're focusing, that this fascination will lead to something meaningful, when in reality, most times we're just stuck in a feedback loop of distraction disguised as interest. And this is where the lines kind of blur between passion and obsession, between curiosity and compulsion. Now, to me, the danger here lies in just how easy it is to justify obsession as a pursuit of something greater, right? I mean, you convince yourself that you're working towards something really important, when most times you're really just sinking further into the abyss of your own making. Whether it's a relationship, an idea, or even a hobby, the more it consumes your thoughts, the harder it becomes to kind of break free. Like quicksand almost, it's mysterious, intriguing at first, and then suffocating as you try to escape it. And the more you fight it, the deeper you get. Now, let's take it one step further, because once we're drawn to something, it starts to shape our entire perception of reality. That person, that idea, that object, that thing becomes the lens through which we see everything. Oh no, you're not just attracted to it anymore. It's not just attracted to you. It's now the thing that defines your world. You're hyperfixated, my friend. When you start wanting a new car and suddenly you start seeing that same exact model everywhere? Well, obsession kind of works the same way, to me anyway. Because once something captures your interest, it starts appearing in every conversation, every corner of your mind, almost hauntingly so. This obsession that comes from primal attraction kind of just starts to warp the boundaries of logic and reason, You've suddenly developed a passion for collecting ancient artifacts, or you became laser focused on the philosophy of some obscure thinker from the 18th fucking century. And now it's all you can think about. Who can relate? How many of y'all got ADHD out there? What's funny is that we often think this intense focus will lead us to some great revelation, but more often than not, it kind of just makes us lose sight of everything else. The person or thing you're fixated on becomes an extension of your identity almost. You're not just drawn to it, you are it. And that's where the danger really lies to me. You start projecting your desires, your insecurities, your hopes, your fears onto it, until you can't even distinguish between what's real and what's simply a reflection of your own psyche. The thing you're attracted to has become a mirror if it wasn't already. And all you see staring back at you is yourself, but a little distorted. To me, it's just funny how the power of attraction can make us forget what we're even looking for in the first place. What starts as a simple yes or no moment quickly spirals into something way more complex, where we're no longer in control of what we're attracted to. It's in control of us. But to me, that can be such a great thing too, on the flip side. I mean, really, think about it. People give obsession such a bad rap, man, The Beyonce movie, that Mariah Carey song, a bop. But it's not my fault that this person or thing just waltzed its way into my life and caught my eye. Especially if it was made to do just that. I mean, if we are what we attract, right? It's damn near a setup. And I feel like the most productive thing you can really do with that is almost to let it drive you, to let it take you. Abstract thought of the day here. If you need a reason to live, an obsession is such an effective solution, right? That girl, that guy, that hobby, that Amazon package is coming. Using shit that attracts you or that you attract to forward your mindset or position in life seems like a pretty damn good fix in the short term. Now, I know, we've been talking a lot about attraction between people here, but let's not forget this isn't your typical basic ass run-of-the-mill relationship podcast. There's too many of those already. And let's also not forget that attraction isn't just romantic or an interpersonal thing, it extends way beyond that. As humans, we're naturally drawn to ideas, places, even objects, like I said. It's true. Our affection for the newest gadget, the latest trend, or a good book even is part of the same tangled web of attraction and distraction. That's the name of the pod. But really think about it. Why are we obsessed with certain ideas or philosophies? Why do some books or movies captivate us while others just don't? Why did that one girl catch our eye? Who knows? It's not just about personal preference, you guys. It's like a whole lot more complex. Just like we can be inexplicably drawn to certain people, we can also be magnetically attracted to ideas that resonate with us on a deeper level. We've all experienced it. But if you haven't, let's take it back to art again. And I'm not just talking about physical art like paintings and sculptures, though they definitely fit into this category, But today we're talking about the art of ideas, the concepts that make us go, wow, I never thought about it that way before. We're drawn to theories, philosophies, and paradigms that challenge us or align with our existing beliefs. It's a form of intellectual attraction, sure. And that can be just as powerful and sometimes even more influential than our connections with people. But it's no surprise that they're attracted to us. You are energy, and everything is attracted to the light. All right, so here's my thing though. Just because someone or something is drawn to you, as we all know, it doesn't always mean it's meant for you. And this is where the whole attraction thing gets tricky, right? And leans more into obsession and distraction. We love the idea that what's meant for us will naturally find its way to us. But let's be real. Not everything that shows up at your doorstep is a gift. You're a light in the dark. And guess what? Light attracts everything. The good, the bad, and the downright chaotic. Like, think about it. Moths are drawn to the flame just as much as butterflies. Well, I don't actually know that to be true, but I assume so. I know they like sweat. While you think you're glowing in the warmth of something pure and beautiful, that light is going to attract some unwanted attention too. Opportunists, distractions, even your own destructive tendencies, all drawn to that bright shine, and the brighter you are, the more likely you are to pull in everything within your orbit, right? Like the sun, not just the things that serve your highest good. And this goes for everybody. You are a beacon, but not all who come into that light are there to illuminate your path. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that what's attracted to you just must be meant for you, like some cosmic validation of your worth. But here's the thing, bro, sometimes it's just noise. Sometimes the universe is testing whether you can tell the difference between what enhances your light and what dims it. And being light means having to discern between what nurtures your energy and what drains it. Not everything that arrives in your orbit is there to help you grow. Some things are just attracted to your glow. Ooh, I should trademark that. I need to put that on a t-shirt. Check out the Etsy shop. So yeah, you might be drawing hella things towards you left and right, for whatever reason. But it's on you to figure out what's worth keeping and what needs to be left in the shadows. As we've seen today, attraction is just the beginning. It's not a guarantee of purpose or compatibility or anything else. The challenge is figuring out what's genuinely meant to share your light and what's just there to feed off it. But this attraction to ideas can be just as messy and complicated as our personal relationships, though. Think about how certain ideas or philosophies can captivate us or reshape our worldview. You may find yourself enamored with existentialism one year, then captivated by minimalism the next. Obsessed with the girl next door one week and super attracted to the girl who works at Chipotle the next. It's a constantly shifting landscape, driven by our evolving interests and experiences. But it's not what you attract, it's what you choose to accept. This attraction is less about rational choice and more about something deeper. Something almost mystical. It's almost like the universe is laughing at us, guys, thinking we're so in control of our own lives when really something deeper and more primal is calling the shots. It's profound, really. Like, have you ever walked into a room and just been drawn to a particular piece of furniture or decor, even if you didn't need it for yourself? Or have you felt an inexplicable urge to visit a certain place, driven by nothing more than a gut feeling? That kind of attraction is part of the same process that draws us to people, ideas, and passions, and them to us. It's about finding resonance, connection. In all these cases, the same principles apply, right? We need what challenges us and what piques our curiosity. It's not always about logic or necessity. To me, it's about the thrill of discovery, the allure of the unknown or the comfort of familiarity. Art, for the most part, though, thrives in the unknown, right? In that space where attraction and emotion live, and that's one of the things that makes it so powerful. Just like with people, our attraction to things and ideas is a blend of what we are and what we aspire to be. And of course, what we find intriguing or comforting, that's a given. But at its core, it's unpredictable. It doesn't always make sense. And sometimes it's rooted in things we just flat out rather not admit. But just like art, it's what makes life interesting. We're drawn to people for reasons we'll never fully understand. And maybe that's okay. Maybe we don't need to know why we're attracted to someone or something. We don't always need to know why a painting moves us. We just know how it makes us feel. So make sure you only allow into your life what makes you feel good. Attraction, like in art, is about feeling. It's about connecting with something beyond the logical, beyond the rational. It's what makes life exciting and worth living. And whether it's the push and pull between you attract what you are and opposites attract, or the eternal mystery of why you picked the baby daddy you did, one thing's for sure, we'll never stop being fascinated by it. To be honest, it's much more like art than science. Messy, beautiful, confusing, and impossible to fully pin down. And maybe that's the whole point. Personally, I'm glad we're not so simple that one size fits all in the attraction department. Just like they say, everybody ugly to somebody. And no one's dream is exactly the same. The only thing we can all agree on is that we all need a little reflection, a little contrast, and a sprinkle of chaos to keep life a little spicy. And if this episode wasn't spicy enough for you, be sure to tune into our next 9 or 10 or so, because we are officially more than halfway through season 2. Can you believe it? And if you're craving more abstract questions and discussions in the meantime, be sure to follow us anywhere and any way that you possibly can at The Abstract Audio Show across all platforms. And if you're looking for any abstract fashions, I do have a brand new Etsy shop that's open for business, you guys. So be sure to check that out in the link below. And don't forget, always appreciate the abstract in your life.